What's good, fam? As promised, I'm back for the second video of the day, and I'm just going to expand a little bit on what I've been talking about over the last few days, and talk about the news a little bit. I saw some videos. I saw George Floyd's fiance and his brother come out and say that George Floyd would not have wanted these protests to turn violent. He wouldn't have wanted as his fiance said, to fight. He wouldn't want people to fight fire with fire. George Floyd's brother, even with a mask on and everything, I don't know. They bear no physical resemblance. But assuming that is his brother, we should kind of, I think, listen to what he thinks his brother would have wanted, and not make his death into a personal vendetta against the police. While I do think there is a problem with police brutality, I think that we need to, I think this problem of police brutality needs to be addressed. I think a lot of times on these issues of racism, we have to, you have to be the change that you want to see in the world, as I often say. It's kind of one of my mottos. Be the change you want to see in the world. You have to address these problems within yourself. And while I think most people, the great majority of people, are not intentionally racist or racist. I think everybody does have preferences, and everyone is prejudiced in that way. And I think that not being able to admit this is one of the major issues. It's one of the major problems with this issue, is people feel like they're not able to admit that they are prejudiced. Everyone is, it's impossible to not think that one thing is better than the other. You have preferences. You have ideals. You have, we should be able to admit this. And I think that one of the main things that I try to push on this channel is the ability to talk to one another and to share ideas, and not meet each other with disdain, and just like, we are always fighting when we could just address each other a little bit nicer. And I know I'm always that guy. I'm the dude that's like, just try to be a little bit nicer. But I think that if people would just try to be a little bit nicer, the world would be a much better place. It would be a much better place. And not only nice, but honest. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be nice, to tell somebody what they want to hear. It's another thing to speak what you mean, to say what you mean in a friendly manner. You know what I mean? I think that if people could come from a place of love, people who aren't able to do that, this doesn't necessarily apply to you. But I think the great majority of people are able to come from a place of love with almost anyone, And I don't know. I just think that most people, I think empathy is kind of running dry in America right now, and everything's becoming more about superficial, um, identitarian type bullshit that doesn't matter. And it's really sad. And while I do support these protests, I think that they're very disorganized. I think they kind of are lacking in a general idea. I think there are a lot of people out there doing stuff for different reasons. I think the great majority of people are peaceful. You know, the vast majority of protesters are peaceful. But then there are disruptors. There are people there who are there to fuck shit up. And a lot of those people are there just because they hate cops. It's not really for George Floyd. It's not for Black Lives Matter. It's because they hate cops. Or, you know, maybe they're pyromaniacs. But maybe they hate CNN. You know, look at Atlanta. So I do think that this protest is lacking in I think it's very emotional. And when things get emotional, they get disorganized, they start to lose their meaning. And I hate to say it, but I understand when people say that the protest loses its meaning when, you know, just people start just burning shit, because it doesn't really solve anything. I think it's very a good symbolism, and it's almost like performance art. It's kind of beautiful in a way, but it doesn't solve anything, and if anything, it probably will end up causing more division. It seems to be causing more division. And the saddest part about it is the George Floyd case, when that first hit the news, for the everyone that I saw that reacted to that story was pissed. Everyone said that's fucked up. I didn't see one single person who was standing up for the cops. For the cop. And it is sad to see when we finally come to a consensus on this issue, this distraction take away from that. Uh, you know, it's very disappointing. And I've said from the beginning, I don't support the violence. I don't support the looting. But if you are going to burn some shit down, don't burn down local businesses. Don't steal from local businesses. Do it to police departments. You know, that's not, trust me, like, I'm not saying that to gain cool points or to, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, I love you guys. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to like or share this. Peace.